Hey, this is Adam with the Game Grid Arcade, here to introduce to you a brand new weekly tournament that we started just a couple of weeks ago that we're calling King of the Grid. And what this is, it's a King of the Hill style tournament. So every Monday at the opening of business, we pick a new game, set a base score that's really just kind of easy to defeat. And then whoever it is that comes in and says, hey, I want to participate on King of the Grid, and beats that score, whatever their new high score is becomes the current score to beat, and they become the King of the Hill, so to speak, or a King of the Grid. And so that score stands until somebody else comes along and beats that. And on that goes until the close of business on the following Sunday, where whoever it is that has the score to beat there becomes King of the Grid for that game, for that week. And what you'll win are grid points. Now, grid points is also something new that we're starting to try out, where we're tracking how many grid points each person gets, and so we would need you to provide some contact information if we're not familiar with you. So far, people that have come and participated in this are regulars, and we know who you are, so we can get back to you on that. But either way, the grid points are points that can be converted into tokens. So, for example, this week number 3 of this tournament, we're doing Space Riders Pinball, and the reward is 10 grid points. So whoever it is that has the top score of this on close of business Sunday wins 10 grid points, and then they can convert those into 10 tokens later on at any time. And of course you can accumulate these as long as you want and turn them in for tokens later on. And we're also looking into ways to have these converted into other things, like we have some arcade stickers that we'll figure out a point system for you to convert over to, and if there's any other little pieces of merchandise that we get our hands on, then you can also use it for that. But either way, we just wanted to come up with a system that's a customer reward system of a sort. This is kind of a way for you to essentially rent the machine that you want to play just by getting tokens kind of for free, almost for free. And so yeah, that's the King of the Grid tournament, pretty straightforward. But I'm also going to show off Space Riders Pinball here. So as you can see from this footage, we have 5 pinball machines set up and ready to play now. We recently added the Addams Family Pinball. We've had Star Trek Premium Pinball for a while now, Ghostbusters Pro, and Star Wars Premium as well for about almost a year now. But Space Riders is something we've had on and off there. It's one of our oldest games. It's actually the second oldest game that we have at the Game Grid Arcade. The oldest one would be Space Invaders, which was launched in, I believe, is June 1978, and Space Riders was just a few months after that. And so if you've never played an old school pinball machine, well, this one is certainly different. This one, it's not retro in the sense of how pinball machines were in the 50s and 60s, and many in the 70s that would have a little xylophone type mechanism inside of it to make noises and sounds. This was one of the first digital sound pinball machines, not the first, but among the first. And so this one, the sound system was actually designed by Eugene Jarvis, who you might know as the creator of games like Defender, Robotron 2084, the producer of the Cruisin' series, Cruisin' USA, Worlds, Exotica, and Blast. He's the CEO of Raw Thrills now, which makes all of our most popular games here. But long before he did all those things, he worked at Atari, and he designed the sound system for Atari pinball machines. And so you can hear his handiwork in this game as you play. And it also is quite a bit different than the other pinball machines that we have here. All of these other pinball machines have ramps and toys and videos and animations and all sorts of things that are a bit more high-tech, whereas this one, the pace is a bit slower. There's no ramps, there's no toys, there's no voiceovers, anything like that. So the playfield layout is definitely old school, and I'm just going to play it a little bit here. We have had some issues in keeping this going, but recently we've figured most of it out. There's still a couple of components that are not working. Recently some of the lights went out. I think it's a circuit connection issue somewhere. Also, we have 2 drop targets, which I haven't been able to figure out why those aren't working. But overall, the game is playable. It's fun. And of course, as I make this video, it's the current title to play for on King of the Grid. So I'm going to play a single game here. It gives you 5 balls per credit, so quite the value for just 1 token. So as you saw from the footage there, one of the things that I love about this one and all the other Atari pinballs was the artwork. That was a great first ball. The artwork was, well, Atari was one of the first game companies to really place importance on hiring professional artists to make a lot of their artwork and add some additional imagination to their games, since obviously the technology at the time wasn't so great. And there's been a book called The Art of Atari, which you can find out there on various different places that sell books, that gets into the history of Atari's artists, and as well as the guy who did the artwork for this pinball machine. His name was George Opperman. I think he died in the early 80s, unfortunately, but he was a fantastic artist, and so this has a very comic book style look to it, and I think that's just one of the more appealing things of this one, even though it doesn't have all the exciting bells and whistles like some of the other pinball machines out there today. This is a beautiful machine to look at. Just gotta get those lights on this whole section here working. So in this one, I mean, the rules are pretty simple, and there's a rule card down here. Can't really see it in the footage right here as to what to do to get more points. That it's spell, or you have to have the ball roll over the targets for bike and city, and then that'll move this bonus part up quite a bit. Not doing too hot today. So one thing you can see down here is this is something that Atari also did differently. Most pinball machines from the 70s put the scoring in the back box, whereas Atari did it down here on the lower left of the pinball apron, and so it's a unique little way of doing that. Although not everybody was a fan of that. A lot of people preferred it in the back box instead. I kind of like it down here myself. And also, this is a wide body game, which used to be a lot more common. So just a wider play field does make the games play a little slower than you might be accustomed to. You know, Jersey Jack's pinball machines, something we're still looking at possibly getting one of those models one of these days soon, hopefully. I believe all of those are wide bodies, although I can't remember if Pirates was or not, Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, this is my last ball. Hopefully I'll make it last. One thing that, unfortunately, this doesn't have, as far as I'm aware of, is a multi-ball. Multi-ball always is a lot more exciting. Oh, there we go. But it does have extra ball and special. Well, that's a quick game of Space Riders. Again, this is a fun game. Probably a little better when you're focused on more of the game instead of talking about it for a video. But yeah, it's at the Game Grid Arcade still, and so if you want to check out something nice and retro. Come by and check it out. One thing is, though, that because of its age and a lot of the maintenance we've had to do on this, there is a good chance that when you come by, you'll see this little thing on it, want to play me, see front desk, and the game itself will be off. We just do that to help preserve it so that it's not on all day long. Do need to look at installing some extra ventilation inside so that can help with the heat, because that seems to be something that is detrimental to it if it's on for 11 hours a day, just that heat inside there. So if it's off, don't worry. Feel free to just, if you want to play it, just come up, ask us. We can turn it on for you, and you can enjoy it. But yeah, that's Space Riders, and be sure to also come and check out our other pinball machines that we have here. And who knows, we might be adding even more, hopefully in the near future. Thanks for watching. We'll check you later.